Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about the books that I read in October. There are not a lot of them. You don't need a whole preamble. Let's just dive into the books. First up, I read The Measure of a Man by Sidney Poitier. This is one of Sidney Poitier's memoirs that he wrote mostly about his early life and early career. And if you don't know who Sidney Poitier is, because I feel like I should probably clarify that a little bit. For anybody who might not know, Sidney Poitier was a golden age of Hollywood actor. He's one of the most renowned black actors in Hollywood history. He passed away back in January of 2022, but I love him. He was a great actor. He did To Sir with Love, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, In the Heat of the Night. He did a lot of great stuff. So The Measure of a Man is one of his memoirs because he wrote a few, and this one follows mostly his early life and early acting career and how he broke into acting as a career. It did touch a bit on his later life, but it mostly followed early on. And I listened to the audiobook, which was read aloud by Sidney Poitier himself, which was really fantastic. I love it when authors do that. Like, I know Neil Gaiman narrates a lot of his own audiobook. By the way, let me just apologize for my slight vocal fry. I can hear it, and if I can hear it, I'm sure you can hear it. I've been a little bit under the weather. I've got some lemon tea to try to help out with that, but apologies. If I sound gross, it's because I am. Anyway, I am not a huge memoir person, and I feel like I say that every time I talk about memoirs on this channel. I'm not a huge memoir person, and that's still true. I still very much, I'm not super inclined to pick up memoirs, but Sidney Poitier did live a very interesting and inspiring life, and he did have a lot of inspiring things to say about his life, so I think I gave this a 3.5 or 4 stars on this. Anyway, regardless, I enjoyed the read. I enjoyed listening to Sidney Poitier talk about his life, and I highly recommend it if you're a fan of any of his work. Definitely, if you're a fan of his acting, check out his memoirs because there's a few of them. Next, I read Shady Hollow by Juneau, which is this very cozy middle grade mystery set in this woodland village that is populated by woodland creatures, like, I guess, humanoid woodland creatures, or rather humanized woodland creatures, not humanoid, humanized. And the whole story kicks off when one of the animal residents of the town has been murdered. And while we do get to see the perspectives of a couple of different characters, we spend most of our time investigating with Vera Vixen, who is a journalist, a Fox journalist in Shady Hollow, and she has taken it upon herself to get to the bottom of what happened, figure out the truth behind this murder that has taken. This book was so much fun, and honestly the characters are to die for. It was so cute. We've got a moose called Joe who owns a coffee shop. There's also a raven called Lenore who owns a bookstore. Like, how much more perfect? I don't think it gets more perfect than that in terms of like nostalgic, cozy, archetypal animal characters. I love that. And I'm pretty sure there's a sequel, so I know what I'm picking up later this fall. Okay. After that, I read Seance Tea Party by Reimena. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Reimena? This is a graphic novel, and it was really, really stinking cute. This graphic novel follows a young girl who is struggling with the fact that she's getting older and her friends are starting to grow up, and she feels like they're sort of growing up without her and like moving on to new things without her, but she's not quite ready to grow up and give up the magic of childhood. And one day she befriends a ghost living in her house, and the two of them become best friends, and they continue to go on these childhood adventures together, but then they also sort of start to meet some new people, some older friends. They start to branch out a little bit more, and eventually they both kind of start to learn what it means to grow up and step into the person that you're meant to be without letting go of the magic of childhood. And it was just such a sweet, well-written story, and because it was a graphic novel, I was able to get through it in one sitting, so that was fantastic. I don't read a whole lot of graphic novels, but I should because I generally enjoy them when I read them. And then immediately after Seance Tea Party, I actually read a second graphic novel about a teenage girl who makes friends with a ghost, and it's called Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. And I think I had initially confused Anya's Ghost and Seance Tea Party. I thought Anya's Ghost was going to be about what Seance Tea Party was about, and I don't know what I thought Seance Tea Party was going to be about. That being said though, I did not enjoy Anya's Ghost any less for not being what I thought it was going to be. I think I've used too many double negatives there. All that to say, I enjoyed both. I enjoyed both graphic novels, very much so. But Anya's Ghost was not the cozy, like, cute ghost story that I thought it was good. It wasn't a Casper. This was not a Casper the Friendly Ghost situation. It was less cozy and kind of leaned more into like paranormal thriller almost. This graphic novel follows a teenage girl called Anya who is just in her prime angst years. One day she falls down a well and ends up meeting a ghost named Emily who follows her home. And Anya doesn't really want her around, but Emily starts doing her these little favors and helping her out at school and ingratiating herself to Anya so that Anya will let her stay so that she can have a friend because she's been alone in a well for like 90 years. But Anya soon realizes that what she thought she wanted is not what it's cut out to be, and it's not actually what she wants at all, and Emily may not in fact be who she says she is either. But Anya soon starts to realize that everything she thought she wanted that she's now getting, not all it's cracked up to be, and Emily may not be as benevolent a spirit as she once thought. Again, really enjoyed this. I should just read more graphic novels, honestly, because every graphic novel I pick up ends up being like a 4 or 5 star read, so I should investigate more into this side of my reading journey. And the last book that I read in October was actually a novella. It's called Night of the Mannequins, and it's by Stephen Graham Jones, who this follows 5 friends, teenagers, friends, who become the victims of a string of murders following a prank gone wrong that featured a mannequin that they found in the woods like 3-4 years ago. I'm not going to say too much more about it because I don't want to give anything away. I do think everyone should read this book, but I will say it's got some parallels to Frankenstein, which I personally love. Also these just like Olympic level mental gymnastics that some of these characters are doing, and also just so much heart and truth and life in these characters. Stephen Graham Jones, his character work, it's so good. It's so well done. And if you've been here for any amount of time when I talk about horror, I adore Stephen Graham Jones. I don't consider myself a horror girly, but I am. I love Stephen Graham Jones. I am a Stephen Graham Jones girly. I just love his work so much. So Night of the Mannequins is a novella, and again I listened to the audiobook and it was 3 hours, so this was a one sitting kind of thing. 10 out of 10, would recommend, would listen again, would read again, should probably buy a copy because I enjoyed it that much. My apologies for any shift in the angle there. My battery died right as I was getting ready to sign off. Anyway, I was in the middle of raving about Stephen Graham Jones, but I don't think you need me to do any more of that because I will just praise him forever and ever. I love him. Anyway, those are the books that I've read in October. There were only 5 of them, so we've taken a slight dip in reading volume. I was very busy. October was a busy month, you guys. Oh god. Yeah. Italy, Ireland, US, back to Scotland for 4 days. London. I did a lot of traveling in October. I spent a grand total of 9 days in my apartment throughout the entire month. So the fact that I got 5 books read at all, you know what? I'm proud of me. I'm proud of me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts on them in the comments. I would love to discuss them with you. If you have any graphic novel recommendations for me, because as we've established, I don't consider myself a graphic novel girly, but I really should because I enjoy them every single time I read them. So please, and let me know in the comments if you've got any graphic novel recommendations. I would love to check them out. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to see when I post new ones. And until next time, peace out, Brussels sprouts.